I think he first noticed that, I think he was looking at property ownership in Italy. And he noticed that about 20% of property owners owned about 80% of the properties, 80% of land. And then it got interesting because then he looked at his pea pods. He was a gardener, so he had his little pea pods, and he noticed that 20% of his pea pods produced 80% of the peas. And that what has been called the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, is something that just seems to sort of pop up phenomenologically in human experience, where you have this kind of minority that is potent, creative, productive. And the problem that we saw early on is that the church was designed to serve the 80%. The church's structures, its systems, its services was all designed to serve the sort of nominal, or the least committed. And what that meant was the 20%, the most committed, then had to come alongside those centralized services to be the volunteer core to serve that least common denominator, that least committed, least discipled, least mature group of people who by definition weren't going to really do much, I guess you could say. And so that kind of centrifugal force, that pulling inward of everyone, really, the centralization of the works of the church, but also the most productive 20% working there in that space. We just thought that was having a negative effect on the 20%. So we started thinking, okay, what if the core work of the church was really to equip and work with the 20%? What if the centralized aspect of the church, the use of resources, the structure of leadership, the way we do governance or polity, the services we provide, the way we spend money, the way we collect money, all of that, what if it was actually meant to serve the sent, or serve the people that were ready and actually already had skin in the game and really deep held commitments to do mission out in the world? So instead of pulling those people off of that missionary frontier, pulling them into a centralized work to work just with nominal Christians, well, what if we said the whole centralized system would serve them so that they could be effective in the frontier of mission, the margin of mission? And so that was our way of kind of reverse engineering all of the systems of the church to serve that singular purpose. And I think that the first step we have to take in order to liberate our systems is to ask, what is that core purpose? What is that central purpose? And then to have the courage to push past our sunk cost bias and to say, some of these systems have to go, and some of them need to be completely changed, utterly changed.